नाम संकीर्तन की जय, संवेद भक्त वृंद की जय, श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। शुभानाय कृष्ण नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूताय श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिने नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। श्री कृष्ण वंदेहं श्री गुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्री गुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Other day we were discussing, or we discussed, knowledge of Krishna, how knowledge of Krishna is very rare, or in other words, rarity of knowledge about Krishna. Before that, we had discussed benefits of knowing Krishna. So today we will discuss why knowledge of Krishna is rare. Basically, it is difficult to understand Krishna. He is, therefore he is called as a Chintya, inconceivable. Brahma Samhita. In the introduction to Brahma Samhita, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in his introduction, he makes a very important point that helps us to understand why knowledge of Krishna is rare, or why it is difficult to understand Krishna. So, general tendency in this world is to do a lot of mental speculation. So, or try to understand everything. This is a kind of foolishness, that we can understand everything by our logic, reason, or experience. The materialistic demeanor cannot possibly stress to the transcendental autocrat who is ever inviting the fallen conditioned souls to associate with him through devotion or eternal serving mode. The phenomenal attractions are often found to tempt sentient beings to enjoy the variegated position which is opposed to the undifferenced monism. People are so much apt to indulge in transitory speculations even when they are to educate themselves on a situation beyond their empiric area or experiencing jurisdiction. This statement. People are so much apt to indulge in transitory speculations even when they are to educate themselves on a situation beyond their empiric area and experiencing jurisdiction. So, this is actually the next statement you can see. The esoteric aspect often knocks them to trace out imminence in their outward inspection of transitory and transformable things. Anyway, this statement, people are so much apt to indulge in transitory speculations even when they are to educate themselves on a situation beyond their empiric area or experiencing jurisdiction. So we are often, so we have become habituated to it, that we want to understand everything by speculation, mental speculation. And thanks to modern education, which trains from beginning that empiricism, experience, mental speculation is all in all. There is nothing beyond this. But that is foolishness. So first, knowledge begins with the point that this is not all in all, and especially in relation with this transcendental autocrat, Krishna. So in this way, we see that people are habituated to, but he is Achintya. Another name of Krishna is Adokshaja. Adokshaja means beyond sense perception. Adakshaja, beyond sense perception. Prabhupada sometime he said that to Ksha alphabets are there, right? Sanskrit alphabets. Sometimes Sanskritists, they debate whether Ksha is actually a separate alphabet, because there are Sanyukta Aksharas are there, mixed alphabets. Ka and Sha mixes together and becomes Ksha. Some say, some debate like that. It's a Sayukta Akshara. Some debate that no, it is a separate alphabet. Anyway, from A to Ksha, Adokshaja, who is beyond these alphabets, basically means he is beyond all mundane descriptions. So in this way, he defined this word Adokshaja. So it is difficult to understand Krishna, therefore knowledge of Krishna is very rare. And so we were talking about most of the people, those who are empiricists and mental speculators, and even Mayavadis, so Jnanis and Yogis, so they try to understand Krishna by mental speculation, so therefore they cannot understand him. And especially in connection with Mayavad, if you see, all these people, they may believe in some kind of Ishvara, some kind of controller, some kind of, sometime often they say it is people, most of the people, they understand that okay, God is some kind of energy. So that may be easy to understand, but understanding person Krishna, God, person God, is very difficult. So impersonalists, they may just negate everything. So here there are name, fame, name, form, activities are there. So God means he should be impersonal, negation. So they try to understand everything by negating. So it makes very sense that Mayavad makes sense for a mundane mind, because impersonalism is very easy to understand. So okay, you keep negating, then you come to impersonal conclusion. So impersonal conclusion, like in 2022 or something, 3 physicists got Nobel Prize for proving that world is not real. So Shankaracharya should have been given because he had how many hundred years before? 200 years before only he had spoken that world is mithya. Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. So how is that even after Shankaracharya came to this conclusion after studying all the Vedic literatures and Vedanta, and the scientists came to this conclusion without studying any Vedic literature, just by their speculation. That shows how there is nothing speciality about this Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. So in this way, there are words, Sanskrit words called Purvatva, Apurvatva. Now this world is not real. The scientists, they proved, so it has Purvatva. So there is nothing special about it. So if some conclusion which you don't need Shastra Pramana, higher Pramana than just speculation, logic, reason or experience, Pratyaksha and Anumana, then what is the Purvatva, Apurva in that? So in this way, understanding person Krishna has some kind of Purvatva. It is, speciality is there. That we need really difficult, it is very difficult to understand that, okay, there is a spiritual form is there. It is very difficult to conceive it. Because we are only experiencing matter. So form means matter. So spirit means there should be no form. That is easy to understand. So, but to understand a spiritual form is more difficult. So therefore in Bhagavad Gita, when Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha, Prabhupada gave a very scholarly commentary on that, purport to it. Being free from attachment, fear and anger. This word could have taken plainly, Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha, general attachment, fear, and Krodha, anger. But Prabhupada, he chose a very scholarly, he says, fear of keeping our personality. Basically, he wanted to criticize Mayavad. Page after page in Bhagavad Gita, you will see that. So, first he describes attachment of the materialistic people. Then he describes attachment, fear of these impersonalists. So body. In materialistic concept, the body is perishable, full of ignorance and completely miserable. Therefore, people in general keep the same bodily idea in the mind when they are informed about personal form of the Lord. For such materialistic men, the form of gigantic material manifestation is supreme. Consequently, they consider supreme to be impersonal, and because they are too materially absorbed, the conception of retaining the personality after liberation from matter frightens them. When they are informed that spiritual life is also individual and personal, they become afraid of becoming persons again, and so they naturally prefer a kind of merging into impersonal void. Generally, they compare the living entities to the bubbles of ocean which merge into the ocean. That is the highest perfection of spiritual existence attainable without individual personality. This is a kind of fearful stage of life, devoid of perfect knowledge of spiritual existence. Furthermore, there are many persons who cannot understand spiritual existence at all, being embarrassed by so many theories. So from here, furthermore, he speaks about frustration, that is anger, krodha. So vitaraga, bhaya, he spoke in terms of this Mayavadis, materialistic people, of getting scared. So because material form means suffering, right? It only brings suffering. So better not have any form. We will become impersonal and merge into the existence. So therefore, knowledge of Krishna is where among the spiritualists also, knowledge of Krishna is rare because it is difficult to understand. So so why it is rare? We were discussing knowledge of Krishna is rare, a rarity of Krishna, knowledge about Krishna. So last time we quoted that verse from Bhagavad Gita, Manushanam sahasreshu kashchid yatati siddhe yatatam api siddhanam kashin mam vetti tathodata. Also, muktanam api siddhanam vasudeva parayana sudurlabha prashantatma kotishvapi mahamuni. So among millions, Prabhupada, he says, millions of yogis, jnanis, so-called siddhas. So hardly you will find one pure devotee who is always absorbed in, who is Narayana Parayana. So in the same Bhagavad Gita 7.3 purport, Manushanam Sahasreshu, Krishna, Prabhupada, he says why knowledge of Krishna is rare. Other transcendentalists than devotees, I am reading just part of that purport which is relevant here to our topic. Other transcendentalists may achieve impersonal Brahman realization, for this is easier than understanding Krishna. So basically it is difficult to understand Krishna. Krishna is Supreme Person, but at the same time he is beyond the knowledge of Brahman and Paramatma. So I mentioned that Brahman realization, some kind of energy. Everyone believes this. There is nothing apurvatva to this idea, right? Everyone knows God, there is some energy. When you ask about why do you believe in God, they say, oh, there is some kind of energy. Some Shakti is there. That is Brahman realization. So there is nothing special about it. But understanding. So often Mayavadis, they argue that, oh, you are, God is Ananta, unlimited God, you are restricting him to a form and to a size. But they don't understand that. They don't understand that his form is not like, why? As soon as when we speak, because we have experience of limited form and limited form of limited size. Why do you think that every form should be limited and in size? Why you think that our form is restricted? Why you think that every form is restricted? So this is mental speculation of Mayavadis. As soon as they think of form, it should be restricted in a certain size and features. Not necessary. Krishna has his own unique form, which is unlimited. It can expand into unlimited forms, unlimited size. So Mayavadis, they speculate always. Some foolish arguments they bring up like that whenever we speak about spiritual form of the Supreme Lord. Spiritual form of Krishna. So other transcendents may achieve impersonal Brahman realization, for this is easier than understand. It is easier. Coming to impersonal conclusion is very easy. It is nothing special about it. Krishna is Supreme Person, but at the same time he is beyond knowledge of Brahman and Paramatma. The yogis and jnanis are confused in their attempts to understand Krishna. How Paramatma realization is also easy, that can also be understood. But Supreme Personal, Transcendental Personality cannot be understood. The yogis and jnanis are confused in their attempts to understand Krishna. Although the greatest of impersonalists, Sripad Shankaracharya, has admitted in his Gita commentary that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is that? That statement, Narayana Paro Vyaktat, that is the one Prabhupada used to quote often. Has admitted in his Gita commentary that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His followers do not. Of course, that is a big topic of research, and it could be done also. How Shankaracharya is a Vaishnava. Hidden Vaishnava, disguised Vaishnava. His followers do not accept Krishna as such, for it is very difficult to know Krishna, even though one has transcendental realization of impersonal Brahman. So one may realize impersonal Brahman, but it is very difficult to understand Krishna. Therefore, knowledge about Krishna is very rare. So if knowledge about Krishna is very rare, from where we can know about Krishna, or what is the source of the knowledge of Krishna? Not television serials, definitely. Not Radha Krishna serial. People know by that one Smartha Brahman used to come here. He said, oh, it is very nice Radha Krishna serial. Some portray Radha Krishna as some mundane lovers. Maybe little more important. Maybe great personalities. We cannot know Krishna by television serials or cinemas. Like now there is one cinema is there, although it is appreciated as very shastric, it has not gone out. But some devotees told me that who went to see that there is no tattva there, nothing much. Like Prahlad speaking, Shavanam, Kirtanam, you should do devotional service in 9, Navavida Bhakti and all these kind of things. This because they like all these fighting scenes, so mostly they will have all this Hiranyakashipu and Narsimha fighting long fighting scenes. Anyway, our source of knowledge is not television serials or cinemas. It is also said, Sanatana Goswami quoted that Avaishnavo mukodgirnam bhutam yad harikatamratam shavanam naiva kartavyam sarpo chistayatapayaha. Are so many Baba speakers very popular nowadays, in thanks to YouTube and all this kind of social media. So they are not the source of knowledge of Krishna or factual source of knowledge of Krishna. Because Avaishnavo Mukodgirnam. Previously people had one television and few channels. Now it is so much great mine of so many videos being every day published. So previously people used to, when we speak about that you should not watch television, and they would say that no, only spiritual talks I hear, watch. And then who are the speakers there? Oh, they are speaking the same thing what you people are speaking. But this verse says that one should not hear from Avaishnavas, Apavaishnavad Harikatha. One should not hear about Krishna. Mukod Girnam Putam Yad Harikatha Amratam. Harikatha should not be heard from Avaishnava. Shravanam Naiva Kartavyam Sarpo Chistayatapa. It may appear same, but there is difference. Dear example, what is the example given here? Milk touched by serpent. It looks white only, but poisonous it is. And you can see the difference. That if you, immediate difference is what? That we become detached from this material world. Vikriditam, that verse is there in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Those who hear the pastimes of Krishna with gopis from right source, proper source, they will immediately become free from this radroga, disease in the heart. What is that disease in the heart? Lust. So that is a immediate result of, ultimate result is love of Krishna, that is of course. Anyway, we should not, they are not the source of knowledge. Or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Mayavad Bhashya Shunilahaya Sarvanash. One should not hear from Mayavadis. So by hearing from Mayavadis, what happens? It's Sarvanash, everything is destroyed. All spiritual life is destroyed. It is. Sarvanash, it is a very strong word, no? Strongly worded statement by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in this way, they are not the source of knowledge. Why Mayavadi is not? Because they themselves don't have factual knowledge. What they will tell about Krishna. Like Radha Krishnan wrote commentary on Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And he said when it came to the point that we have to surrender to Krishna, you should not surrender to person Krishna. You should surrender to person who is speaking through Krishna. Like that. And our Acharya has quoted that how there is no difference in that very purport, in that very commentary. That was 9.34, Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto. So, in the same purport, our Acharya Prabhupada quoted how Deha Dehi Vivedo Yamneshware Vidyate Kvachit. That verse was quoted by Rupa Goswami in Laghu Bhagavatamrita, which has a little different reading than what Saraswati Thakur and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Anyway, meaning is same. That difference between possessor of the body and the body is not found in Supreme Lord, Ishvara. So anyway, Mayavadis, they cannot give proper knowledge about Krishna. Then from where we should learn? We should learn from pure devotees. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santha sadaiva radayeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achintya gunaswarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Premanjana churita, one whose eyes are anointed with the ointment of love. He can see 24 hours Krishna in the heart. Bhakti vilochanena. That is That is actually our source. Because in Bhagavad Gita again and again Krishna says that only my devotee can know me. So we can know from here in 10.7, other day we quoted that verse also. What are the benefits of knowing Krishna? That we become fixed in devotional service. Avyabhicharina. Avyabhicharini bhakti. We become fixed by knowing Krishna. What is that verse? Etam vibhutim yogancha mama yo vetti tattvataha so vikalpena yogena yujjate natra samshayaha. So vikalpena yogena yujjate natra samshayaha. Vikalpena yogena. Without deviation, one will be situated in yoga. That is, so vikalpena yogena, undeviated, undivided yoga. That means Shuddha Bhakti, Uttama Bhakti. Yujjate natra samshayaha. Yujjate natra, there is no doubt in that. Who is that? Yotam vibhutim yogam cha. Who learns about Krishna's vibhutis and his mystic powers. That's why in the 10th chapter, those vibhutis and vibhuti yoga it is called. So, and his mystic powers are being discussed. In the same purport, Prabhupada says, this factual knowledge can be known from the descriptions in Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and similar literature. We should know Krishna from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam and similar literature, Bhakti Shastras. So not from TV serials or some mundane scholars. Nowadays people writing has become a profession. So everything they want to commercialize. Everything. Even pickle which can be made in the villages, villagers come and buy from cities. Same mangoes which they grow in the villages. So they come to city and buy. So writing has become, and they, especially in India, stories of Krishna, Rama, they want to write and make money from that. There are so many authors like that. They are rascals. We should not learn from them. We should learn from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam and similar Bhakti Shastras. Now, of course, Mayavadis also try to learn about Supreme Lord from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Not from Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada in the first purport only writes. Shankaracharya, first or third purport it is, maybe third one. Shankaracharya did not touch Srimad Bhagavatam because Srimad Bhagavatam, we were quoting from, I was reading from the foreword of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to Brahma Samhita. And he compared Brahma Samhita to another book, that is Srimad Bhagavatam. Anyway, something like that. So Shankaracharya did not touch Srimad Bhagavatam because there, so direct declaration of Supreme Absolute Truth as Krishna. In the first verse only it says Satyam Param Dhimahi. And then what is that Satyam Param Dhimahi? Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Satyam Param Dhimahi. And Vadanti Tat Tattva Vidas Tattvam Yajnanam Advayam Brahmeti Paramadmeti Bhagavan. Bhagavan is the ultimate realization. And who is that Bhagavan? Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the Bhagavan Swayam. So in this way, he did not touch Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita, he wrote commentary, and so many Mayavadis wrote commentary. Of course, sometimes Mayavadis, they speak on Bhagavatam. Like Bhagavatam, they speak on Rasa Leela also. Like in previous generation, now he is not there. That Karpatra Maharaj from Kashi, Mayavadi, Shankara Sampradaya. He gave lectures on Rasa Leela actually. And they will conclude with Mayavad, their Mayavad rubbish. So, although they speak from Bhagavad Gita, they wrote commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. But as we discussed Mayavad's Bhashya, Shunelahaya, Sarvanash, we don't take Mayavadi Bhashya seriously. We take Krishna's words directly. Krishna says, surrender unto me, and we surrender to Krishna. That is Bhagavad Gita as it is. So we should learn from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam directly as it is. So therefore Prabhupada says factual knowledge of Krishna can be learned from Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and other literatures. And in 10.15 Arjuna, he said, because Arjuna glorified Krishna as Parabrahma Paramdhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibham, Sarvam Etadratam Manniyanma Vadasikeshava Nahite Bhagavan Vyakti Vidurdeva Nadanava Swayam Evatmanatmanam Yattatam Purushottama Bhuta Bhavana Bhutesha Deva Deva Jagatpate. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency, O Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe. Swayam evatmanatmanam vyattatvam purushottama. Like other day we mentioned in Hindi class, we were discussing that how ultimately Krishna himself knows him. We are Balaram Purnima, how Balaram reveals Krishna. So ultimately Krishna himself knows Vyattatvam Purushottama. Here he says, you know yourself. You alone know yourself. So we should learn from Krishna himself directly. If you want to know about Krishna. Therefore, in the purport, Prabhupada, I am reading only part of the purport which is relevant again. As stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, second paragraph of the purport, 1.2.11, Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavanti shabdate. So, Vadanti tat tattva vidas. Supreme truth is realized in three aspects: as impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and last as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this statement is not actually the translation of this verse, it is just paraphrasing. Vadanti tat tattva, Vadanti means they say, tat tattva vidas tattvam. Tattva vidas means knowers of the truth. Tattvam yajnana, what is that tattva? It is yajnanam advayam. Advaya jnana, it is called as. undivided consciousness, or you can say Advayam is supreme consciousness, you can say. Advaya Jnana means supreme. Advaya means what? There is no second person like him. There is no such thing as second next to him. There is no competitor. No one is equal. Nothing is equal to him. Therefore, Advaita. We are also Advaitavadis. Advaita, not two, only one. Yes, that one is Krishna. Advaita, that is what is described here. Advaya Jnana. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan iti Shabdate. That same Advaya Jnana is described as Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan. So, Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, they analyzed these three. It is one only, Advaya Jnana. Advaya means it is one, but they are realized as three. That is. So, generally whenever Brahma, Paramatma, Bhagavan came, words come, they are talking about only one entity. So, Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, they gave a hierarchical meaning, not in terms of the realization by the individual. So, Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan. So, Bhagavan is the ultimate aspect. So, at the last stage of understanding of the Absolute Truth, one comes to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, in the end, we come to Supreme Bhagavan aspect. A common man or even liberated man who has realized impersonal Brahman or realized Paramatma may not understand God's personality. Common man or even a liberated. How common man can realize Brahman? I mentioned it, right, previously. Everyone believes that there is some energy, right or not? And Paramatma, liberated man. Paramatma realization can also be. Many scientists, they believe that how birds are migrating from one place to another place. They are guided by Paramatma within. So logically they may come to that conclusion. Such men therefore may endeavor to understand the Supreme Person from the verses of Bhagavad Gita which are being spoken by this person Krishna. So why Prabhupada is commenting that such people can also, those who are already though know Brahman and Paramatma, they can also further go ahead. How they can know? From the verses of Bhagavad Gita which are being spoken by this person Krishna. So why they can? Because that is the point. Only Krishna can alone know himself. Therefore we should learn from him, learn from his own words, not from anyone else. Prabhupada used to speak about that. That one famous Bengali author, he wrote book, Shahjahan. The book title was Shahjahan. But the whole book was filled with atrocities of Aurangzeb. Then his friend asked him, why you then gave the title Shahjahan? You could have given Aurangzeb as a title. So then he explained to him that how Shahjahan's life was filled with just atrocities of. So similarly the author knows and Krishna knows what is the purport of Bhagavad Gita. So therefore we accept Krishna's words as it is. And we can know Krishna only by his own words. Only when he reveals. So other day we had a very elaborate discussion about how in Balaram Purnima in Hindi lecture we were discussing that Ata Sri Krishna Nama now Bhavid. No, I think in this lecture he asked question, I think. What is Ata Sri Krishna Namadi na Bhavid Grayam Indriya? How we can know Krishna, right? You asked question. So Ata Sri Krishna Namadi na Bhavid Grayam Indriya Sevan Mukhe hi Jivvado Swayameva Spuratyada. Sevan Mukhe hi Jivvado. We cannot perceive with our blunt senses the name, form, qualities and pastimes of the Lord. But when we become Sevan Mukha, when we become Sevan Mukha, what happens? Krishna reveals himself to us. Now many times one argument everyone brings when we speak about knowing Krishna by hearing from the Shastra or reading from the Shastra. Again because why Shastra, why Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, why Vedic literature? Generally what arguments we give? We say because our sense perception, logic, reason is limited, our senses are imperfect, etc. When we bring up these arguments, they say that even hearing also, you are hearing Shastra. Again you have to interpret and that data which is there, Shastra, through this mind and senses only. You are hearing material senses. Then the data is again analyzed. So these things are all addressed. These arguments are already answered and settled. Jiva Goswami quoted, other day I spoke about Vachashwati Mishra, 11th century Mayavadi philosopher who wrote commentary, one of the biggest Mayavadi after Shankaracharya, who wrote commentary, and I said that how his commentary begins with Mayavad. His commentary says, Atato Brahma Jidnyasa. Brahma we already know, we ourselves are Brahma. What else is there to know like that? Why we have to do Jidnyasa about Brahma? But actually, that Atato Brahma Jidnyasa means Atato Krishna Jidnyasa it is. So therefore you have to do Jidnyasa. That is what is Vedanta is hinting there, but Mayavadis, they don't understand that. It is Krishna Jidnyasa. So then he concludes that saying, this Vedanta is not any Jidnyasa Shastra. You just need to recite Vedanta just for keeping our spiritual sadhana intact, keeping our intelligence purified so that we remain steady in our spiritual. Anyway, Jiva Goswami quoted him. He makes a very strong argument against this, that how by making spiritual sadhana and making progress, our senses become purified. And in that purified senses, when we take Shabda Brahma, then that knowledge is perfect like that. So that is more relevant in bhakti, by engaging our senses, Sevan Mukhe hi Jivvado, by engaging in the senses of Krishna. Then our senses are purified. Then Krishna, everything is revealed. Or Krishna also reveals to his devotees, being pleased by their bhakti. So in this way, we see that this is how we should learn about Krishna. Then the next topic is, who cannot What are the qualifications to know Krishna? Who is qualified and who is not qualified? That we will take in the next session. We'll stop here. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Saying Hare Krishna in the end awakes devotees from but that is not the purpose of that. In Bhagavad Gita it is said that every sacrifice began and ended with Om Tat Sat, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. But it has its side effect also of waking devotees after. Any questions, comments?
Somebody told if you near of Krishna from pure devotees, how do you know who is pure devotee?
How do you know? I read that verse, Narayana Parayana, one who is fully absorbed in Narayana. Sometime, other day I mentioned that. Who can glorify Krishna? We brought up that point, right? Nivratta tarshe rupagiyamanas bhavo shada shotra manoviramat. Those who have become free from trashna, basically Paramahamsas, they can glorify Krishna. So we are repeating only what Paramahamsas have spoken, right? Like I was reading quotes of Prabhupada in this class and just expanding them, quoting verses from the Shastra. But there are basic rules are there. Like in the beginning, when Sutta Goswami, they made him to sit on Vyasasana, and the sages of Naimisharanya, they glorified him, saying that you know all the Puranas, you know all the darshanas, Shad darshanas are there. Therefore you can really represent Vedavyasa. And another thing they said is, you are free from all the vices. Prabhupada, he says, in the purport he says that those who are sitting on Vyasasana, they should follow these 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication. Some basic, they are basic rules. But ultimately, Paramahamsas only glorify Krishna. Basically, you have to see who is absorbed 24 hours in Krishna. Vasudeva Parayana, that is called as Narayana Parayana. Prabhupada is one great example in the recent history, and he used to tell that all our disciples, they don't know anything other than Krishna. Always they are engaged in service of Krishna, like that. Anything else? There only Bhagavatam it comes. Bhagavatam should not be heard from Grahasthas. Because they have materialistic life, maintaining family life and all. And professionals, reciters of Bhagavatam, because they make Bhagavatam recitation as their occupation, maintaining family maintenance business like that. Of course, it doesn't apply to all Grahasthas. Anything else? Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.